Hey gang, and welcome back to the Movie Club Emporium. And yeah, we're back here on the couch. I was actually planning on doing this in the car, but it's too dark and way too humid for that. So we're gonna do it here. Um, and probably for the best because I think the car is the last place you want to be after watching the new film Passenger. I was very excited for this movie. Um, New horror film from Andre Uvedal, Overdahl, uh, who brought us Autopsy of Jane Doe, Troll Hunter, and a movie that I liked that got a lot of hate, Last Voyage of the Demeter. Um, and yeah, growing up in rural Oklahoma, one of the main, if not the main pastime uh, growing up is driving around on dark country roads. And so, for them to take that and make that into a horror film, and again, growing up and even living in places where there's like Crybaby Bridge and Dead Woman's Crossing and all this fun, dark road uh, superstitions. Yeah, I was super excited for this movie, and um, I will say it is. There's a lot I like about it. There is. There's a lot of interesting ideas here. Um, the main one being it's we're following a a couple who have just recently picked up van life. Um, and so the idea of being chased on the highways and byways by an evil spirit in your vehicle that you also happen to live in kind of gives it this haunted house on wheels feel, which I liked. And the lore behind it is very interesting, and there are a lot of really cool visuals. But being as this is from the filmmaker who made those pre mentioned films, I gotta say this was kind of a letdown because I had to check more than once to see what this film was rated. It's rated R, and I'm assuming because of one particular uh, death, and that's pretty much it. Like otherwise, this movie is kind of felt like a PG-13 Blumhouse uh, film, and which was really weird. And also, we are following these two characters that they're dating, they live together, they decide to move out of Brooklyn and begin van life. Our husband Tyler is super into it, and our female character um, Maddie is she learns after 6 weeks that she is not built for the van life. And so there's this weird subplot about how they're getting engaged, but she doesn't want to live the van life. And so there's this weird friction between them. Meanwhile, they're being haunted by this entity known as Passenger, who essentially is if you're driving alone late at night on a dark, empty road and you see a man standing on the side of the road, keep driving. Also, don't drive at night. Don't stop. Uh, don't do anything like that. And also learn, the code of the hobo, the traveling hobo, because that's an integral part of this movie. Because you just buy books about the ancient art of wanderer symbols. Um, so the movie has a very strong opening. If you've seen the trailers, like the has a very strong opening, and then like there's a lot of some jump scares, but a lot of nothing. I will say up until the end, on my notes, I have the scariest moment uh, of this back dark road movie happens in the parking lot of a Big Lots. And so I just kept thinking, like, why? Where is, like, when you think of something like The Autopsy of Jane Doe, like, that movie is scary. That's a legit scary movie. And this feels like studio. Again, how this wasn't rated PG-13. Um, Now, I will say the idea of the ending, I won't spoil it, is interesting, although the ending rips off kind of a major plot point toward the end of Days. So, I guess if you can sit there and go, oh yeah, I should rewatch the movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger fights the devil. Um, I unapologetically enjoy that movie. So, good on you. And there is one part leading up to that is creepy. It feels like that kind of this director's kind of style, but that's really the only scene that does. Melissa Leo is in the movie for a cup of coffee. Um, she's basically there. She is in, so like if this was Sinister, she's the Vincent D'Onofrio character. Um, and otherwise, it's just these two people driving around and ghostly things happen. Because again, it's essentially a haunted house movie. It just so happens that your haunted house is a conversion van. Um, it also has some very poorly timed needle drops. Um, where like there's no good reason to have a needle drop when they happen in the movie, and like they kind of pull like instantly. I was like, I'm not like all in on this movie because again, I'm just sitting there going like, this feels like this is all right. Like this is the guy who made Autopsy of Jane Doe, right? It's the same guy. Um, and then a needle drop happens, and you're like, oh, really? Like, okay. However, with the exception of closing credits, I do approve of using Susie and the Banshees, Pat the Passenger, because that is a fantastic song. I will hear nothing else. Uh, but outside of that, yeah, I mean, again, a movie that has a couple of great visuals. Uh, I will tell you, turn the brightness up as bright as you can if you watch it because it's so dark, and it's a problem with all movies now. Even when we went and saw Mortal Kombat 2, that movie was too dark in the theater. I don't understand what's going on, but it's so dark sometimes you can't see what's happening. Which doesn't work for a movie full of like stuff in the dark jump scares. There is a scene in the movie that is kind of a cool idea. I almost forgot about because it's kind of buried, where they're like, he's like trying to like make her feel better, so they're showing a movie on a projector in the woods, because that's where you want to pull over and do stuff like that. And they're hearing things in the woods, so she grabs the projector as a flashlight, and so it's projecting kind of the image over the black and white movie they're watching over the trees, where you can see glimpses of the faces from the movie they're watching and whether or not it lines up with the faces of things in the woods. It's a very good, like, oh, okay, that's cool. But really, there's just a lot of loud sting jump scares. Um, the kind of things you would expect in, again, a Blumhouse movie. Like this is, or like something like The Conjuring. Like this has, it felt like those. It did not feel, even in a movie that I know a lot of people did not like, with Last Voyage of the Meter, I clearly felt that director's fingerprints on that movie based on Troll Hunter and The Autopsy of Jane Doe. And in this movie, I didn't, and that kind of is a shame. Again, the concept is great, and I'm your audience because like I have personal um fears and things tied to that type of stuff, and this movie really doesn't do it. Um, and so it's kind of a big of a letdown. But as far as like a popcorn, uh, take a date to a scary movie, um, it certainly is better than taking her to see Obsession, even though Obsession is the way better movie. Obsession does not make a great date movie. In fact, it may be one of the worst date movies, but this one you can go to as a date movie. Unless like you live in your van, it's probably going to be a red flag. But um, it was perfectly fine. It's not something that I'm going to think about much after we stop talking about it right now. So it's not one that offends or anything like that. It's just kind of disappointing in its execution, but it's perfectly serviceable for your studio factory horror film. Um, However, I am kind of excited because next week, well, first of all, next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, make sure you're here with us, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time here, because Nick and I are doing our May live hangout. And we are celebrating Memorial Day weekend with a little bit of the old 1-2 combo of Mortal Kombat. We're talking about the live action films and maybe a couple other surprises. So you do not want to miss that. Hearing us. Plus, we're going to be reviewing the new Mortal Kombat as well. So you do not want to miss that. That'll be Saturday night at 9 p.m. And then next Sunday, the review plan is to go check out everybody's favorite internet liminal space with A24's The Back Rooms. So again, another. I am very interested in this movie. I don't know a whole lot of the lore, but I am glad to see that, much like with Lights Out, David Sandberg got to bring his YouTube creation to life. Um, I'm excited for this one just because he's getting to bring this to the big screen. Um, Surely it's better than the last internet uh, horror I saw brought to the big screen, because I was there for that Slender Man movie, and that was real bad. But I'm excited for this one. The Backrooms, I think, are fascinating. It's a fascinating creation, and so we're hoping we'll be talking about that next week. But until then, again, join us Saturday night for Mortal Kombat. All the Mortal Kombat you can shake one of those big sticks with the swords on top of it at. And make sure you are joining us every week for new videos. Like, subscribe, share, do all the fun things. Let me know if you guys saw a passenger talk about it in the comments, and we'll discuss it, or anything else for that matter. I'm happy, we're here to talk movies, so make sure we're doing that. And until next week, when we are uh, deciding what horrors lie in the yellowest of yellow rooms outside of time and space, I will see you guys next week. Bye.